Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 99. On this episode, we will hopefully finish all the Doctor Who magazine 60th anniversary announcements. We've got 2 interviews to go over, and these are taken from Doctor Who magazine, issue 596. So, the first interview is titled The Beast Unleashed. What a beautiful thing. Benjamin Cook goes behind the scenes on the Whoniverse brand new making of show to meet the cast and crew of Doctor Who Unleashed. The taxi driver who drops me off in the rain outside a disused power station surrounded by TV trucks and catering vans asks me, "Ron Reesby, what the hell is going on here? Mayonnaise commercial." I tell him I panicked. I'm under NDA, which stands for Non-Disclosure Agreement. What I can't say is that this mothballed former coal plant deep in the Welsh countryside at Yellscouth near Newport is harbouring monsters from outer space, crash rocket and poor, vulnerable meet a noble dynasty in the last of the Time Lords, and where Time Lords and monsters tread. Where was I up to? Tread. So now, does Doctor Who Unleashed, a new behind-the-scenes spin-off series for BBC Three and iPlayer, is about to become one of your top 2 favourite TV shows. It's amazing what we get to do, says Ali Francis, who is the Unleashed's cool collected assistant producer, but people have this idea that working TV is all this glamour and showbiz. It's really not good, except when it is. But when we started filming, we've been rained on, windswept, with something like 3 weeks of night shoots and special one. This is the first 60th anniversary special in Star Beast in a Wembley car park, a Yuscomith power plant, and at least those are indoors, but we're having the best time, she assures me. It's the 26th of May 2022 and Doctor Who magazine is heading behind the scenes. On the behind the scenes there are danger, demolition in progress, keep outside all over the Yuscomith site. As I walk up the drive around a muddy patch of wasteland, a tannoy system crackles to life, metallic Dalek voice piercing the empty silence with an unsettling warning. You are under surveillance. Maybe it's something to do with Doctor Unleashed. It isn't, Ali assures me. I keep walking. This is all part of the plan. Rusty Davis, Doctor Who's the Doctor Who's returning showrunner, tells me later. When I came back, I wanted to do Doctor Who. I wanted to deliver Doctor Who annually, and I wanted a behind-the-scenes show again. Absolutely, that was part of the condition. Going to edit suites, TV studios up and down the land, he continues. There'll be editors and runners and boom operators who work in the industry because they used to watch Doctor Who Confidential. This is a documentary series that arrived with the revival of Doctor Who in 2005, broadcast on BBC Three immediately after each episode of the main show on BBC One and lasted until 2011. You can see why it's disappeared, said Russell. There's only so many times you can explain beauty, but then a whole generation passes and a new generation comes along. I genuinely think it's time. The Unleashed team know they have big shoes to fill. Confidential looms large over the fresh, young upstart, and comparisons inevitable. I loved Confidential back in the day, says Joe Pearce, Unleashed's executive producer. Actually, our head of production, Lucy Woe, was a researcher on Confidential, so the connections there. I thought Confidential was brilliant, actually quite groundbreaking, but I think where we are now in 2023, Marvel, Star Wars, everybody does a behind the scenes. So what Unleashed wants to do is take it to the next level. We're kicking it behind the scenes up the arse, Russell agrees. If you love Confidential, you love Unleashed. This is so much child of Confidential, but he stresses Unleashed is his own show with its own identity. Confidential was more neutral. With Unleashed, we thought, let's give it a voice, let's give it a focus, let's give it a presenter. I find Stephen Powell, 34, sat in his trailer in Yuscomith Power Station car park reading over his notes. Today's a big day, I say. It's Doctor Who, exclaimed. Every day is a big day. Hailing from Armagh Valley, 15 miles north of Swansea, Stephen's Welsh tones and boyish enthusiasm. Is he enjoying himself on Unleashed, I asked. Clacking it's brilliant, he replied, practically conjuring visible exclamation marks. will be familiar to listeners on BBC Radio, including Stefan's 8-year stint on Radio 1's Newsbeat and BBC Sounds. As a gaming and culture correspondent for the BBC, Stefan has travelled the world, reporting from Glastonbury, Los Angeles, Tokyo and Seoul, and now Youthsmith in the drizzle. What's he done to deserve that? That's what Doctor Who Unleashed is about, getting properly stuck in insist. Did he grow up with Doctor Who? If it was on, I'd sit and watch it, he says. And I'd really enjoy it, but I was a bit intimidated by the volume of the backstory, which is brilliant. The backstory is brilliant, but my brain didn't have space for it, so I couldn't tell you exactly how many episodes of time had been, or when was the last time we saw Davros. But now he's fronting Unleashed. He started a massive Doctor Who rewatch, kicking off with some 2008 David Tennant, Catherine Tate episodes. He's loving it. The world building is amazing. I'm losing myself in it. By the time Unleashed comes out, I'll be deep in the lore. Stefan is a brilliant journalist, says Ian Derham. Unleashed series producer and editor. He has that kid in a can store exuberance about him, and that is absolutely genuine. But he's also got the kind of where was I up to? But he's also got that kind of journalistic notes, and he's a really nice guy. He's the viewer. As a viewer, we are vigorously enjoying everything through his eyes. As soon as I put forward Stefan's name, Russell was like, "Yes," remembers Joe. Stefan is the nicest man, often on camera, and I think his manner just puts people at ease. He has a laugh with them. I love Steph, says Russ. He's so brilliant, and Steph may be unleashed secret weapons. Sometimes being less informed about something is helpful. Actually, he says, we need to give hardcore fans and Doctor Who magazine readers snippets that they don't know. I'm trying to draw those bits out, but also make Unleashed accessible so people like me can come along and think, oh wow, I didn't know that. Doctor Who Unleashed is being made for BBC Studios by Bright Branch Media. Established in 2019, the newborn production company is Joe's baby. You know, we're a small Welsh indie working on this global brand. She says Joe is Bright Branch's CEO, creative director and founder. I'm very proud of it. A lot of love has gone into making Unleashed. Quite rightly, the team has very high standards. The feedback we've had from all the executives from Brad Wolfs, from BBC, they've been lovely, but I'm lying said I wasn't nervous about what the audience will make of it. We want to do right by the fans. We want to give them an insight into Doctor Who that they won't get elsewhere. You'll have seen Bright Branch's work before. We made a slew of behind-the-scenes online content for Doctor Who 2021 season Flux and the 2022 specials, as well as making Doctor Who Unleashed. The Bright Branch team is responsible for making multiple unique assets, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok videos, DT extras, etc. per episode. There's a lot of original output, says we've been working in television for 25 years. I've been a documentary maker all that time for the BBC, Channel 4, all of that. There was no way I was going to turn down Doctor Who Unleashed, says. While doing this, I've been watching other behind-the-scenes material from other big shows, and they're very manicured, they're very managed, whereas we're about capturing those completely unplanned magic moments. Much of the responsibility for capturing that unplanned magic is down to the aforementioned Ali and her partner in crime, Jonathan Aiken, Unleash's shooting producer or director, or otherwise known as the shooting PD within the industry. An experienced camera operator and drone pilot with an impressive list of TV credits. He once shot a VT with Giles Brandreth for one show dressed as Thriller. Jonathan is also one of us, a fully paid up card-carrying Doctor Who fan. I will regret saying this, he begins, but there was even a birthday, 2007, when I asked for a proper little David Tennant suit. I was 9 years old. Later, Jonathan sent me a photo of himself, aged 10, meeting the voice of the Dalek, Nicholas Briggs, and getting Karen Gillan's autograph, aged 13. He also is one of those people who worked in TV because he watched Confidential as a kid. As much as I loved Doctor Who, I was even more interested in the making of the show. It's like when you watch a magic trick, but what you actually want to know is how do they do that? In the cavernous belly of the Youthsmith power station, it's all go, dedicated to make their behind-the-scenes show unmissable TV. The Unleashed team have invited two British comic legends and Doctor Who magazine alumni along today, writer Pat Mills and artist Dave Gibbons, whose 1980s strip Doctor Who and the Star Beast has inspired Russell's 2023 TV adaptation. I'm genuinely scared, confesses Dave, as Ali and Stefan walk him and Pat to set, all filmed by Jonathan, because I'm going to meet these weird beings that I'd wish I'd never thought of. You'll only have yourself to blame, jokes Stefan. It's Pat, says Dave, laughing. You made me do it. Draw this, Dave. I don't want to. Draw it. Pat and Dave are such a huge deal, we had to do this. Ali tells me Pat lives in Spain, so we've flown him over. David Tennant is so excited. That's the beauty of having someone as the Doctor who really knows the history and is genuinely a fan. He comes up to meet me a few times in the run-up to today and check it's still happening. What are Pete and Dave like? Dave asked Ali earlier before the Unleashed cameras start rolling. Very chilled, she assured him. David, well, I'm not. I've got my Sharpie. I want them to sign my graphic novel. I have to say, adds Ali. Dave was incredible in Unleashed. We're so lucky. Doctor Who magazine chats with Pat and Dave over the page, but on set in Uxmouth, in a dusty corner of the Turbine Hall, Unleashed are capturing one of those magic moments. Pat and Dave coming face to face or face to fur with their most high creation, or as Ian tells them, you're going to meet your parents. I won't spoil how it plays out. We'll have to tune into BBC Three, but Pat and Dave's Meep encounter delivers one of the most genuine, touching parts of Unleashed's first episode. Another is David's charming but unashamed fanboying over Pat and Dave. This is a sickly made spin-off setting off its stall. Unleashed isn't afraid to show how much Doctor Who means to the people who make it, who star in it and who inspire it. But Unleashed doesn't shy away from addressing some of the most unsettling aspects of making Doctor Who either. The first episode features an interview with Esmond Finney playing Donna Noble's daughter Rose, who's disarmingly frank about the challenges of shooting one particular scene. Due to its name, Doctor Unleashed doesn't hold back. Unleashed has got back. That's a making of show we can get behind. So many other behind the scenes shows are retrospective, Jonathan, and really only about selling the franchise. They're not actually about behind the scenes. They're out to say, this was great, this was amazing, watch our show. There's a bit of that on Unleashed, but it's a tiny part of it. What's good about Unleashed is it feels like you're actually there while it's happening. You see the stories unfolding in front of you. Also, and this is actually true, everyone on the Doctor Who crew is so bloody lovely, says Ali. We've been here so much, they see our faces and they understand what we're doing. They really help us and they really care deeply about what they're making. They understand how cool it is that we get to make TV all day. Ask Jo what part of Unleashed she's proudest of, and she replies, the warmth. I think it's really important in the show, but also in our crew. The kindness in our team. Every single person who works on the Unleashed is practically brilliant at their job. No, not practically, I read that wrong. Fundamentally brilliant at their job. But also they're kind through and through. Ali is wonderful with everyone. She's such a great assistant producer. Jonathan's camera work on this will be amazing. Also his and Owain Carbis and Unleashed's executive editors' love for Doctor Who since childhood runs through our whole show. It's been a guiding light, and the experience of Ian, who is renowned here in Wales for making brilliant documentaries, has been fundamental to shaping Unleashed. Honestly, we've assembled the most amazing team. Back in the power station, Stephanie's recording a sign-off to a segment with Pat and Dave. Maybe this set visit will inspire you to write another Doctor Who, suggests. You'll never know, says Pat. Nothing's possible. All space and time is there for the plundering. Dave readily concurs. Doctor Who, no, for David Tennant, who plays Doctor Who. It's been a blast. Today has surpassed expectations, he says. The Unleashed team, once Pat and Dave have headed back to their hotel. Thank you so much for making this happen. They say never meet your heroes. It was like something off This Is Your Life. Catherine Tate joked earlier on watching David greet Pat and Dave. But they were both so lovely and enthused as David. He's like a little boy whose dreams have come true. That was such a treat, he reiterates. For Pat and Dave to come on set and be so enthusiastic about what they're doing was wonderful, and Unleashed really went that extra mile. As someone who enjoys comic books generally, but particularly Pat and Dave's Doctor Who Weekly strips, it meant so much. I'm indebted to Unleashed, least of all for the Doctor Who Weekly they gave him to get Pat and Dave to sign on camera. Hang on, I had my own graphic novel that I brought with me too, insists David, laughing, which I got signed in private afterwards. Come on, I'm a fan. Then we might know a brand new behind the scenes spin-off show that David will adore. I will have loved Unleashed as a kid, he agrees. I mean, I love it now. It inspires so many kids to want to do well. This, he says, gesturing about the disused Uxmouth facility, now teamed with action lights, cameras, a mighty rocket, and a dedicated TV crew, bringing one of David's favourite boyhood stories to life. After all, Doctor Who is the show that inspired him to want to be an actor. Right, absolutely, yes. The 22nd Doctor, or the next show, and it could well be a 10-year-old who will be tuning in to episode 1 of Unleashed with David, and isn't that a joy? Doctor Who Unleashed starts this November on BBC Three, and actually, instead of doing what I did with the Emily Cook interview and splitting it, I'm going to end this episode here, and then the next episode is the final bit of Doctor Who Magazine's 60th anniversary news, which is an interview with some of the cast who are going to be in the 60th anniversary specials. But let me know what you thought of the announcements and maybe what your favourite was. But that's and also like, comment and subscribe as always. And yes, that's it for the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 99. Goodbye.